Self care is not intuitive. In fact, it goes against many of the things that we have learned about ourselves, things we were raised to believe about work and ourselves in the world. I'm here to change that. I'm here to change the narrative and blow up the self care box. I'm your host, Desiree Rue, licensed clinical social worker, self care strategist, freelance writer, a lover, and a fighter. And I'm Self Cares AF. And this is Self Cares AF, the podcast. You ask me, and I answer the questions that get you out of the box and into the life that lights you up from the inside out. Hey, how are you? How are you? Um, I am doing well today. I'm very happy to be back with you again. How was the weekend? How's the week going to shape up for you? I hope that you are looking forward to your week ahead. I hope that you have something a little special going on. I would love to celebrate that with you. So certainly reach out to me. Let me know. I'd love to celebrate all of your self care wins, big and small. Honey, we celebrate over here. So send me what you got. Let me know how it's going. Listen, let me tell you a story because I got to tell somebody about what happened to me last night. Okay, I was in a very beautiful sleep. It was so good. I was having such a wonderful dream, and all of a sudden, the building alarm went off. So I live in an apartment building. And I don't know if somebody pulled the alarm. I don't know if the building was on fire for real. But it went off and it jolted me out of my sleep. And I'm discombobulated. And then I go and I peep out the peephole to see if people are actually leaving. And I see people actually leaving the building. I'm like, oh, I gotta leave. Of course, like I am not dressed in any manner appropriate to come outside of my own space. So I just grab my robe, put on some flip flops, grab my phone, my keys, and my wallet because I'm like, everything else in there can just burn up. But I'm gonna need my wallet because I'm gonna need to get to my money. Okay, all $3 of it. And so I go outside, and guess what? I don't have my glasses. And I'm like, oh my god, I left my eyes. So I couldn't. I can see, but I can't see. And I can't believe I went out there without my glasses. And we were outside for about 20 minutes. Fire truck never came. Finally, the alarms went off, and then we were all able to return back into our homes. But I was just like, I was having such a good dream. And once I got outside, I realized I am truly not ready for an emergency. So I need you to keep your phones on, keep your porch lights on, because at some point, if I'm ever in an emergency, I might need to reach out to you. And I need you to be ready for me because I'm not going to have my glasses and I'm not going to be able to see. It's like, never a dull moment in the life of Desiree. I couldn't even get a good night's sleep and finish. I was having an amazing dream. I was just gonna say that. I dream in color and it's like a movie. I dream in movies when I'm neurodiverse and my brain never rests and is always excited even when I'm sleeping. So I was having a really good dream and it got disturbed and then I went outside blind. So that's the story. That's what happened to me. So I'm on some kind of different energy this morning with, loopy sleep. I went back to sleep. I was able to get up this morning. I still was running late, which I think that might just be my normal thing. I'm gonna have to work on that for next year. Yeah, yeah, next year. I'm gonna work on not being late. I probably if you are a person who is always on time, please send me the tips and the tricks. Many of my friends and family will thank you because that is always an area of improvement for me, being on time. I'm always late, except for to the airport. Listen, planes do not leave me. I show up. I'm there 2 hours early, legs crossed, unbothered, watching the people run into the gate. One thing I don't do is miss flights, but I might show up to an appointment late. So send me some tips and tricks. And definitely let me know how I can celebrate with you. What have you been doing? What self care things have you been putting in place? What have you been doing with these aha moments that have been coming for you? What have you recognized? in the people that you work with or if you recognize just in yourself as you've been trying to implement more things that get you back to you. Let me know. Hit me up. Um, and let me know what you're excited about. This week coming, I have a few things that I'm very excited about. Of course, I'm going to share it with you. One is that I will be teaching my inaugural course. Yes, I am teaching a course on self care, and I'm so incredibly grateful to be able to do it. It's a paid course. So, someone has actually paid to take a class from me, which is in and of itself really a dream. But it's called Recharge and Thrive, the essential self care blueprint to igniting lasting change. Listen, the goal is sustainable self-care and the road to it is not, easy. It's not one size fits all, and this course is literally designed to help you go from your point A where you are now to your point B where you want to be and to stay there. Sustainable self-care takes courage and it takes knowledge and it takes guidance and it takes practice. And this is what this course is designed to do. It's a 5-week course. I start teaching it tomorrow. I'm going to be teaching it live. I'm so incredibly excited about it and so grateful to be able to usher someone through their journey to get them to a point where self love, self care, self intention is the normalized behavior in their life. And so I'm very, very excited about that. I will put that information if you are interested in this course. I will put that information in the description, and you can click on it and get more. Or feel free to reach out if you have questions, and I'm happy to answer them. Also, I am very excited. This week, I will be teaching uh, doing a team workshop with an organization in Santa Monica, California, and I love doing teamwork. This is about it's actually not on self-care, it's on anticipatory grief. And what I love about being brought in to do this is that I get to use all of me in doing this, right? My lived experience, my professional experience, and also helping people understand this whole the understand grief and how it impacts you as a person, and also giving those tools and resources to get through it. I am a licensed clinical social worker through and through, and I love anytime I get the opportunity to share with teams, make them better because we bring our whole selves to work, even the parts of us that may be grieving in some way, some loss of some kind. All of that is tied to self care. Because when you know what's happening with you, when you know your resources, you are able to give them to yourself. That is self care. So I'm excited about that. That's happening this week. And then at the end of the week, I'll be traveling to Orlando, Florida, to the land of Disney World, hanging out with my grandson who will be turning 5 years old. We got this thing all planned out. Me, his mom, and him. We've got a whole plan, right? We're doing character dining. We're hitting all the parks. We're going to the water park. Grandma is going, I'm like full force. I'm going to be in it and on it. I'm excited. So this week is going to be one lot of new things I'm starting, things I get to continue and celebratory. So I'm excited for the week. And again, I hope your week has some exciting points in it. And it's not going to be the, same bloop, different day. It's going to be different stuff, different day, and all of it's going to be great because if you say so, that's what it's going to be. We only do what we really believe. So, again, let me know what you're excited about because I want to celebrate it with you. Just hit me up, put it in the comments, or you certainly can hit me up directly via my website, which is also listed in the description. So, again, I'd love to celebrate with you because any reason to celebrate, okay, is a reason. Now, today, we also want to thank our sponsors. Never want to forget to thank those that are responsible for ensuring that I'm able to bring this message to you in the way that I bring it. And so I'd like to celebrate our self care hero today. None other than me. Yes, I'm still investing in me. So I would like to thank the best self-care sponsor we have had, the best self-care hero we have had for this podcast so far, Desiree Eats and Travels, LLC, where the mission is making a difference in lives and communities. And so they are supporting the work of this podcast in order to do that. Thank me. Thank you, me. Thank you, me. You're welcome. Thank you, me. You're welcome. Okay. Okay. So you too can be a self-care hero. You too can sponsor and ensure that this message continues to get out, continues to help and support others in this journey of self care that is not easy or intuitive. So, today we are going to be answering questions. And when I say we, I am we, that is me. I'm going to be answering questions around self care and parenting. And I wanted to kind of jump into this portion of questioning. We've been talking about self care in the workplace, life work balance. And so when we talk about parenting, what's really interesting is that the parenting aspects of us, oftentimes we forget that we are the biggest part of that ingredient to being a parent. We focus so much on the needs of our children, which we should, right? That's our job. That's one of the things, that's why we're here, right? They belong to us. We made them, they're ours. And even if we didn't make them, even if they're our children that are they're our children and they're not our biological kids, but we were blessed with them by some way, bonus or adoption or any way, we owe it to our children to always be taking care of ourselves because that is how we pour out to them. What we give to us, what we have, we provide to ourselves, allows us to provide to our children. And when we take ourselves out of the equation, we aren't giving our children the 100% of us that we think we are and that we really want to. So I really want to just continue to talk through this because many parents feel, how do I get myself in here? I have so much to do with my kids. I have so many worries and so many ways that I need to be there for them. How do I get that time in for me? So that is why we're talking about this because there are ways that you can absolutely do that. You are a part of the equation, whether you think so or not. You're always the most important part in caring for your children. So I have a question and I'm going to read it and then I'm going to attempt to answer it. And you too, fill in your comments about it. So this question is from Delano. And it says, my wife and I are finalizing divorce from a 20-year marriage. We broke the news to our 19-year-old daughter, who was away at college. She's obviously not happy about it, but she expressed the feeling that everything she thought was stable has now gone away. As this is most definitely trauma, we are concerned that this may take away from her concentration on school and development of healthy relationships. What is our message to her? How do we support her through this? Thank you so much, Shalana, for this question. And it is, I'm sure it was a difficult one to even ask. Vulnerability is never easy in any situation. So I appreciate um, you sharing this with us. So how can we support her through this? Um, Divorce is not an easy thing for any part of the family. The couple that is separating for whatever the reason, as well as the children. It's like because we are all connected. It's a little bit of a domino, right? When something isn't right in one area, it impacts every area of the family. And so what I would say to you is this. When we think about how can you and your wife help your daughter through this, one way isn't being completely honest, right? her response, everything that I thought was stable isn't, right? Can be addressed with honesty. Here's what's stable: how I feel about you, how your mom feels about you. Those things are stable. Those things will never change. That is the truth. That will never change. What is changing is my relationship with your mother, is your mother's relationship with me. And that's different than my relationship with you and your relationship with her, right? So helping her to reframe, because the response that she gave was an emotional one. It was an emotional one. It was one in which thinking, maybe even looking at your relationship as an example, which does not mean that you failed in the example. What you are showing her is that things can change. So you can help her through it by being honest. Things changed, but the thing between me and you didn't change. The thing between your mom and you didn't change. Only the thing between me and mom that changed. The other thing is to ensure that you are being an example to her of how to get through something difficult by being honest and being saying, I don't know what things are going to look like. We are still working things out. Whatever the status is, being honest with her, because this is not only an example of maybe how relationships end, but it's also going to be the example of how you deal with it. Healthy relationships are more than just that the relationships go well. Healthy relationships also include how you respond to difficulties. And so I would just really encourage you to continue to be honest with her about how you're feeling up or down, or when you're feeling hopeful, where you are in the process, for as much as you want her to know. They're still children, so sometimes we don't want them all in our business. They don't need to know everything, right? But also letting her know that you're a human being. Things hurt you, and let her watch you go through the process so that she can see the best ways to handle things. And even if you aren't handling things the best yourself, you don't know what you're doing or how you're feeling from moment to moment. That's certainly a thing that you can be honest about. Listen, I don't know how I'm feeling from moment to moment, but these are the things that I'm sure about. I'm sure about how I feel about you. I'm sure about I'm going to be in your life. I'm sure about I'm not missing any opportunities with you. That are those things that I am sure about. And so reiterating, the relationship that is being severed is not the one between you and her. It's the one between you and mom. And that, wherever that status is, and continuing to allow her to express her emotions without feeling like you caused them or did something wrong. This is just maybe the first pain point in her life, but it won't be the last. But the first, you get the opportunity again to usher her through how difficult situations can be handled, what being honest looks like, what you being vulnerable looks like, understanding that the emotions are going to be a roller coaster for both of you, and explaining that and acknowledging that and taking it day by day. Not allowing yourself to go so far ahead into her future, thinking that, um, because this thing has happened in your relationship, that it's going to happen in hers. Come back to today and just take it day by day, process by process. Answer the questions that you can and be honest, because children are very resilient. And even though they may not have all the words for what they feel, they see things. They see when things are good, and they can see and feel when things are bad. And so let this be an example for her of how you deal appropriately and in the best way breaking up, what that looks like, what it can be like. It doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to choose sides. Um, you want to reiterate that to her. You can love me and love your mom. You can love your mom and love me. It's okay. You don't have to take sides because we don't agree with each other. We don't want you to do that, right? And so again, just be really give her the permission to love the other parent. Doesn't mean that means that she doesn't love you. And oftentimes children need that type of permission to move on, right? In order because they may have a propensity to take a side because they want to feel a bond with one. And I don't want to if I'm mad at daddy, if I like daddy, that's going to make mommy sad. If I like mommy, that's going to make daddy sad. How she sees you all interact with each other is going to also be very important. So take all that into consideration. Be honest and let her know that this is going to be a tough thing for all of you, right? And just continue to embrace her, listen to her. And yes, it will distract her from school. And you can give her the resources. If this becomes difficult for you or you find yourself thinking more about what's happening at home than you are at school, and you don't want to talk to me or you don't want to talk to your mom, who can you talk to? There are resources at a university for her to have someone to talk to through this. It is important that people process because this is going to be a change. Everything from here on out is going to look different. And as a friend told me yesterday, different doesn't mean bad, it just means different. So help her to also process what it's going to be as you're processing what it's going to be. And I would encourage you, if you aren't speaking with someone to help you process this new change for yourself, then I encourage you to do that because that is self care. It is important that when we are helping children through the very difficult parts, that we also remember that we are, as the adults, as the parent, the most important part of that ingredient. Children do what they see us do, not always what we say. So when they see you taking care of yourself, they see you utilizing resources, they see you giving yourself grace, they see you talking positively about the future, then that's one of the ways that they know how to do it. Even though you tell them everything's going to be okay, if you looking like it's not, they're not going to believe you. They mirror us. And so it's important, again, to take care of yourself. Get yourself the resources that you need. Have that positive conversation with yourself and give yourself the grace to be not okay and to be not okay in the front. Sometimes when our children don't see us being vulnerable, then they believe that when they feel vulnerable, it's wrong because they've never seen it. So it's okay to say, I don't listen, I'm not okay either. But here are the things I'm doing every day to get there. And we just have to take it one day at a time. So Delano, thank you for that question. And I hope that that was a little helpful. It is never easy to separate one from the other. It is never easy to have any type of change in a family. And it is never easy to see your children hurting um, for any reason, whether you think you caused it or not. So I encourage you to, again, do what's necessary for you as well as it's a both and focus on you so and that you can focus on the needs of your daughter. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for sharing that question with me. And I will share a very vulnerable personal story as we wrap up today. Um my children aren't always in the greatest of places in their adult lives. Anyone who is a parent to an adult child knows it's probably the hardest position to be in. Now, oftentimes when they were young, we thought, "My God, this has to be the hardest position to be in. And I'll be glad when they get older. So then I don't have to have these worries about things. And then they get older and you still have worries because now they're making their own decisions in their lives. And some of them you agree with, and some of them you don't. And some of them you can literally see your child running into the wall. You can see them driving 80 miles an hour in front of the Mack truck. Like you can see where they're going to end up. But they are very um, determined to do it their way. And what I have learned as a parent, even because every day I'm in some type of angst about my children, what they're doing, are they happy? Are they making the decisions that are making them happy? And very much in angst when they're not. And so when they're not in good places, I have to allow myself the grace to feel, to say, it's okay that you're feeling this way. Of course you feel this way. Your child is not in a good place. And so I would just say, hold on because their lessons are theirs. And for anyone who is, you know, being the adult parent of the adult child, very difficult. Every day I have to have a conversation with myself to listen and not always feel like I have to give the solution. I am a helicopter parent. I have like 3 licenses I've got like 3 different helicopters and I've got like 3 different licenses for my helicopter. I refuse to land it, okay? So I still have the keys and I'm always ready to get into that helicopter and to start it up and go do what I need to do for my child. But I have to tell myself every day that the life that he is living is his. And then to be supportive is not always to be the rescuer or to give the answer, but to be supportive is to be the listener and to validate. Say what I mean, be honest, but allow him to also make the decisions on his own. So I have a son, as I've shared with you guys before. I also have a bonus daughter. I call her my baby's mama. My grandson's mother, who I very much hold to my heart as my daughter, and I have a goddaughter. She's the daughter that God gave to me. Blessing since the moment I met her. And I worry about those 3 every day. Every day. However, I have to allow myself the grace to know that I am not there to solve their problems and that their problems will be okay. I listen, I validate, and then I take care of myself. Because you have to be in a place to be able to push past the fear, to push past the anxiety, the worry about their future in order to give them what they need in the moments that they're there with you. So self care and parenting go hand in hand because as the parent, the first person you need to take care of is you so that you can give your children 100%. Otherwise, that's not what they're getting. So I hope that that's been helpful for you for all. If you are a parent of a small child or a parent of a teenager, God bless you, or the parent of an adult, a young adult, or young adult, or they're entering into their 30s and not so young anymore. The feelings of responsibility and love and fear never really go away. But I hope even if you are parenting any one of those generations, that you are still doing something for you. And remember, you are the biggest ingredient in that equation. Give them 100% by giving something to yourself first every day. So we're going to continue to talk about this. Listen, if you have any additional questions or if you'd like to share your insights, do so. We're a community and misery loves company, but happiness needs a tribe too. So this is our tribe. Please contribute to it. Continue to engage, and I look forward to connecting with you the next time. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you being here. I hope that today's episode has sparked an idea or challenged a long held belief or just moved the needle a little closer to what you want. Let's stay connected. Visit my website, sign up for my newsletter, hit me up on Instagram at Desi Eats and Travels, and tag me when you are being self-care AF. I appreciate your time. Comment on this episode. You know your thoughts are important in these podcast streets. So comment, give me your feedback, and I will see you here again next week.